In this recording, we'll be talking about the use of filters inside the new tool table. If you'll note over here on top, we have the filter sign, and we also have an X on top of it. The X indicates that there is no filter being used at the moment. Now, on the right-hand side of the filter, we have an arrow. Clicking on the arrow will open up the different filter choices that we have. For example, if I were to click on turning tools, in our particular case, the list is empty because my tool table does not have turning tools. You'll also see that it's showing the turning tool here on top. Going back over here, I can click also on the milling tools, and it'll show me again all the milling tools. Now in this particular case, all my tools are milling tools, so I see all of my tools. Continuing on down, we also have the options of viewing tools that are used in the operation, unused tools, and also tools that have been suppressed. For example, if I were to click on the very first one over here, tool used in operation, you'll note that this tool list now will have been shortened because there are only these amount of tools that are actually used inside my operations. Going back over here, I can just clear all my filters again. Now let's go a little further on inside our filters. If I open this up, at the very bottom, we have something what we call advanced filters. The advanced filters lets us actually filter out every single aspect that we have of our tool tables. If we take a look on our left-hand side, we see that we have the list of tools, cutters, shanks, holders, and filters. Now let's take, for example, the cutters. I'm going to uncheck my cutters over here, and what I'm going to do is open up the plus that's next to the cutters. And you see next to the cutters we have all different types, such as the milling, turning solid tools, all different types of cutters. I'm going to go and open up the plus next to the milling to expand the list in our milling tools. And as you can see, we have now the list of our milling tools over here. You'll also note that my tool list is now empty because I haven't used any of the filters yet. So my tool list over here is completely empty. Now let's say I want to use one of my end mills. Now before I even explain that, you'll note that next to every tool it also has a number. You'll note that next to the end mills it says 0 and 15. 15 represents the actual number of end mills that I have, but I don't see any of them because I haven't filtered them in yet. Therefore the number is 0. If I were to open up that filter to show all my end mills, then what you'll see are all the end mills, 15 out of 15 over here. If we go now to our tool parameters, you can see we have several different types of parameters that we want to see. We can filter by diameter, corner radius, cutting length, all different types of options of how we want to filter this out. For example, let's take diameter. If I go to diameter, you'll note our first area over here. The first area shows an equal sign, but there's actually a lot more to that. If I were to click on that, you can see we can have equal to that diameter. We can also have more than or equal to, and less than or equal to, more than, less than, or in between two values. Let's, for example, go to equal to a specific number. If I go to my next, if I click on it, it'll show me what are the actual diameters that I have inside my tool table. For example, I have 0.8 millimeters, and I also have two of the tools that are by 0.8 millimeters. Clicking on that, you'll actually see those two tools over here. If I were to click on this now and say expand it, say equal to or more than 0.8 millimeters, I'll see every single tool that is more than 0.8 millimeters. As you can see over here, the smallest tool being 0.8 and then going on to larger tools over here. If I were to change this over here now to show 1 millimeter, I'll see all the tools that are from 1 millimeter and up. Now, if I want, at any point, I can always go back to the bottom over here and click on Reset. By clicking on Reset, it brings back all the different tools that I have exactly as if they were not filtered out and all. And then I can exit.